All right, today we're going to talk about something called the pillar and playground method. It's this really powerful way of thinking about lifelong learning. Basically, a way to help you keep your mind sharp and master brand new skills no matter how old you are. So let's just dive right in.
Okay, let me start with a question, and just see if this rings a bell. Do you ever get that feeling that maybe your brain is slowing down a bit? That you're just not as quick on the uptake as you used to be? Like keeping up with all the new tech or new ideas just feels like a chore? Well, if that sounds at all familiar, trust me, you are not alone.
I mean, in the world we live in, everything's moving so fast, right? So that fear of being left behind, it's totally real. It's a super common anxiety. That sense that the world is just rocketing forward and you're struggling to hang on. But here's the thing. What if I told you that what you're feeling isn't actually a decline? What if it's a transformation? So to really get what this transformation is all about, we've got to look at a little bit of the science behind it. And it turns out there's a really fascinating reason for this feeling. And spoiler alert, it is not a story about losing your mental edge. Nope, it's a story about how your brain is actually changing its whole game plan as it gets more and more experience.
Okay, so psychologists kind of break our smarts down into two main categories. On one hand, you've got what they call fluid intelligence. The best way to think about this is like your brain's raw processing power. It's like a nimble little all-terrain vehicle, right? Super fast, super flexible, great for tackling brand new problems you've never seen before. Then on the other hand, you have crystalline intelligence. Now this is your library. It's the massive collection of facts, skills, and wisdom you've been building up your entire life.
And here's what's so fascinating. Our brains, they naturally shift from relying on one to the other as we get older. Back in your 20s, that all-terrain vehicle, it was probably at its absolute peak. But as you roll into your 40s, your 50s, and beyond, your brain starts to lean less on that raw speed and way more on that incredible, ever-expanding library of knowledge. And I love this part. This is not a bug, it's a feature. It's how an experienced mind is supposed to work.
So, this brings us to this really brilliant idea called compensatory scaffolding. It sounds complicated, but the concept is super simple. Think about it. When you're putting up a new building, what do? You put up scaffolding, right? A structure to support the new stuff you're adding. Well, your brain does the exact same thing. It uses that solid foundation of everything you already know, your crystalline intelligence, to build a framework that helps you learn and connect new information.
So the most important thing to get here is this. Your brain isn't failing. It's not just getting old. It is fundamentally rewiring itself to use its biggest asset, all that wisdom you've collected. It's literally shifting from being a sprinter to being a master strategist. And once you really get that, once it clicks, you can start working with this change instead of fighting against it.
And that is where this whole pillar and playground method comes into play. See, it's not just some clever little name. It is a system that is specifically designed to work with that natural shift in your brain. It's all about harnessing that crystalline intelligence and really letting it shine.
It's actually pretty simple. The whole thing has two core parts. On the one hand, you've got the pillar. This is your big project. It's all about deep, focused learning, really aiming for mastery in one complex area. And then you've got the playground, and this is all about just, playing. It's low stakes, fun exploration in a whole bunch of totally unrelated fields.
So, building your pillar. Yeah, it's a big deal. This is your ambitious project. We're talking about going deep. Maybe you decide you're going to dedicate a year to finally becoming fluent in a language, or you're going to really master a new programming language. Or hey, maybe you just want to become a legitimate expert on a period of history you love. Whatever it is, this is how you actively and deliberately build up that awesome library of crystalline knowledge. And the playground, this is where all the fun and flexibility really kicks in. It's the total opposite of the pillar. We're talking zero pressure, all novelty. Take a weekend pottery class. Spend an afternoon learning 3 simple magic tricks. Try one new recipe every week for a month. The goal here is absolutely not mastery. It's just about showing your brain new things, new patterns, and letting it make all these cool, unexpected connections.
So here's the magic of how these two things work together. It creates this amazing positive feedback loop. Your pillar is digging that deep well of expertise, right? Making your crystalline knowledge stronger and more structured. And at the same time, your playgrounds are keeping your mind nimble and flexible, creating all these surprising new links across your brain. And that combination, that is what builds that powerful compensatory scaffolding we talked about, which makes learning pretty much anything else so much easier.
Okay, so what's the bottom line for you? What should you take away from all this? It means you now have a blueprint, a real, practical, science-backed game plan for learning that is tailor-made for the way your brain works today, right now.
And this leads to a really powerful shift in how we think about this stuff.
Look, the goal is not to try and get back the brain you had when you were 20. That's not the point. The point is to fully embrace and become a master of the incredible brain you have today. A brain that is packed with experience, context, and wisdom.
So really, it all boils down to this one simple idea. Combine that deep, focused mastery, the pillar, with that joyful, playful curiosity, the playground. You do that, and your ability to learn and grow won't just stick around. It's going to absolutely flourish.
So, I want to leave you with one final question to get you started. And let's not even think about the big, serious pillar part for now. Let's start with the fun. Just for a second, what's one small, fun, curious little thing you could try out this week? What's your first playground going to be?